Very good morning. Now, um, as most of you know, yeah, I did a YouTube content creators boot camp. Yeah. Now, in that, we had over 10 weeks. We had people coming in who spoke to all of us, and there were what uh, there was up to at the maximum over 100 people who were chatting from various different places: Sweden, Norway, Denmark, countries like Spain, Portugal, France, Belgium. Here in the UK, we had a few. We had NUFC Matters, Steve Wraith from the UK, and there was three or four extra from the UK. Some were doing channels on numerology, starcasting, and things like that. And what I used to do was this: the um, the call would start at 5, so I'd go in there roughly 4:30, 22. And the reason why I would go in early is this: I would go in early so that you get to chat to people in different parts of the world. You get to learn how they're doing their stuff, and you got to get to know them. And then come 5 o'clock, Motsu, who is a wonderful lady, she is our manager. She would come on with a presentation, and everybody would mute their mic. And Motsu turned around and she said, all of these tools, the hype tools, changing your video on your YouTube channel, the very first video that people see. A lot of people do a video and they forget about it, me included. Yeah, I had me sitting there playing the acoustic guitar, playing one of my songs I wrote myself. Yeah. Now, the reason why I wrote my own songs was it goes back to when I was a driver up in Newcastle, doing early morning shift and seeing different things, different things en route, and it would give me ideas. So I'd write them in my diary. But going back to what Motsu was on about, she said to us very early on, week 2 or week 3, what she said to us was this: there's a lot of people here who have very small channels, i.e., you're in year 1, year 2, and some of you will have less than 100, and some of you will have more. YouTube is extremely hard. It is. It's like you're trying to climb a mountain with no equipment, just you and the mountain. Those people are very brave, yeah, because there's no safety net, yeah. And what she said to us was this: here's the key things, yeah. Hype. comments. Answer people who are putting a comment on your video and try and build a relationship. Doesn't matter where they are, build a relationship so they come back and back and back, week after week, month after month. Are you following what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, 1 second. Now, one of the things that Motto would say to us is this: when you get to the lane, the lane is 1,000. When you get to the line and you creep over the line and you get your congratulations from YouTube, you have 1,001 or 1,010. Yeah, you've crossed that line. Here's what she said to us: oh, you can't go back down. I shouldn't have done that. One moment. Damn. Yeah, she said you can't go back down. Now, I experienced this early in 2025. There were some bad people. Those bad people would come into my comments and they would turn around and say, quick, everybody, unsubscribe. And a few, 10, 11, up to 20 would follow the advice of somebody they'd never come across before in their life. And I decided back then, okay, I'm in a battle. So what I would do was I'd use Facebook. Over 3.9 billion use that. So what I would do to counteract those silly people was this. Back then, I had a lot of pages on Facebook, and when you're doing a page on Facebook, yeah, you either have business or community, which is like a group. I went for the business, yeah, so that's what I would do a banner, picture, etc. And what I was doing was, when those bad actors were coming in, this isn't going to work, that isn't going to work, and the other's not going to work, yeah, I would turn around and say, okay, share, all these different pages. And 1,001 became 1,100, meaning the number was greater than this little bunch of bad actors. Yeah. Now there are some people, Mark H is one. There are others who, but this hasn't worked, that hasn't worked. You know, what they're saying is this, yeah, when they come into the comments, and you can read all of their comments, yeah, because I chose a different route. I chose, if you're going to make a bad comment, as long as it's not really a bad comment, it stays. So that 5, 10 years down the road, you can go back through and you can see this person has turned around and say, oh, well, you've had this business, this business, this business, and it's all failed. And what does it say? It's better to try, fall on your backside, and you're going to fall on your backside. Get yourself up and carry on. Now, back to this, motto and the YouTube Content Creators Bootcamp. Change your strategies was what motto says. So I did. I now have brand new strategy. That brand new strategy is this. Tell you, show you, right? Memberships, where $1.99, $4.99, $8.99, and the big one. The big one happens only when the ERC 20 comes out to play. What I mean by when it comes out to play, it gets unlocked by a consensus vote. That's going to happen. The consensus vote is 51% or more going, yes, we accept. Now I've got to give a little bit of what the asset is in a bag and say, I'm going to give you that if you give us a yes vote. A little bit of bribery, but that is how the system works. So I'm going to say to 100 people, if you give me a yes, you're going to get 10,000, 20,000 or thereabouts. I don't know what the upper limit is. I don't really know, but that's the aim. What I need for that is this. I need to buy ETH and then send it from one location to, using a crypto wallet, MetaMask, etc., from one location to the WX network. That lands in my account. Then I buy WXG, which can only be used on the platform, and I say, right, let's go through this process. Let's have the vote. So that's the process. I put that in and I say, there is 32k, and there is, if I've got enough to do it, there is dual energy. And they turn around and say, yes. And the door opens to the marketplace. When that happens, we've got DeFi pools on there. And that's where it goes. Half of it goes in there. I get a bag of cash. I convert that bag of cash to GBP. Then I buy. If I look at something and it's got the rights, I buy because I've got the rights. And what Motto was saying to us when we were all a captive audience with our mics muted, YouTube wants us all to grow. It wants you to watch Now, here's the thing I looked at today, this morning. Just got up, making myself a cup out, watching the morning news. Some people are watching 1 minute and 47 seconds. What can you learn in 1 minute and 47 seconds? However, what can you learn? Yeah, I've been talking to you now on the same subject, but doing little bits to the side, which is things I have. I've shown you them on video. And when you see it on video, I don't have the fastest computer on planet Earth, like these supercomputers. No, it's a Dell. I have a Dell Inspiron, I think it says 15 3 gig. So realistically, it's pretty crap. Yeah. So I don't have a supercomputer. Now that plant, you can see it's grown. Yeah. That's what I want here. And from January, 750 people have turned around and went, yeah, we like this. Brilliant. Let's get another 750 to go, yeah, this is good. Then let's double it again. Do you catch me drift? Because this is the point. You can't go backwards. Let me show you something and explain it in a much better way. Yeah? Right. For those of you out there, yeah, those of you who drive a car, you know what that is. Yeah? You pour the oil in the top and it goes into your engine. Yeah? Now, with that, you pour it in and that bit there fills up and you just wait. Gravity does the rest. Yeah? Same thing is here with YouTube. Yeah? And what I've said this a couple of times. Yeah? 3K. But it's 3K twice. Sub and members. Then you can watch members only. Yeah? I'm going to try and keep the price affordable. You can't go stupid. You can't go to higher prices again than $12.99. So just remember that. Okay? Now, next video is Newcastle United. But I want to keep climbing on YouTube to prove others wrong. Thanks for watching. Yeah? And have a wonderful Saturday.